Patrick Cripps from the Carlton Footy Club. You're listening to the Coaches Panel.
Dayne Zorko here from the Brisbane Lions.
Johannisen from the Western Bulldogs.
Luke Parker here from the Sydney Swans.
It's Rory Sloane here from the Adelaide Crows, and you're listening to the Coaches Panel.
Max Gawn, Melbourne Football Club.
This is Matt Fyfe from the Fremantle Footy Club, and you're listening to the Coaches Panel.
Less than a week away now from the start of your AFL season for 2019. Hello, it is MJ from the Coaches Panel, and welcome to a very special podcast. You're now just the days away from the start of your fantasy footy year, going into some lockout modes with that Thursday night game of Carlton and Richmond. And throughout the pre-season, perhaps you've been going to coachespanel.tv. You've been getting the podcasts of strategies or player kind of features of the 50 most relevant. Maybe you've even joined the Patreon to get some exclusive content, which you can join, by the way, at patreon.com/coachespanel. But sometimes you just need to hear it direct from the players themselves. Where are they going to play? You need to hear from the captain. Who's got a shot at being named in round one? And are those big name players like Big Maxi Gawn? Is Maximum going to solo ruck or not? These are some of the big questions fantasy footy coaches have been pondering and thinking about throughout all of the 2019 preseason. So just a couple of days ago, I headed down to the MCG for the annual AFL Captains Media Day and put your questions to the captains of the AFL clubs. We had some fun with them. We got some fantasy advice from them, and they gave a little bit of sneaky advice away for some debutants and where they themselves may line up for their side in 2019.
We're chatting with Johannisen of the Western Bulldogs. Mate, it must be nice to finally realise that the footy season's here, all those months of preparation are kind of here. It must be great for you and the rest of the lads to kind of get out there in just a couple of days' time.
Yeah, definitely. You can sort of feel the feeling in the change room, and especially in Melbourne, you can feel the whole city starting to get that buzz and that footy's back, and I'm just excited for it and can't wait.
And it's been you've said a couple of times in other places, it's been a bit of a frustrating kind of past couple of seasons for yourself and even for the side at the moment. Yep. How do you feel like the side's going to turn it around in 2019?
Yeah, I think we've had a couple of seasons now where we sort of building that chemistry together. We're still a pretty young side, and we've got a few new players and drafted some good kids. So it's all about finding that chemistry and that balance where we can play our best footy. And I think this year will hopefully be a good one.
Yeah, you talk about some of these kids. Bailey's an absolute ripper of a human being. Got a horrible haircut, but a ripper of a human being. Are we likely to see him or some of the other kids getting a crack at it in a week's time?
Yeah, definitely. I think Bailey Smith has done a lot right to put his name up for a selection, and unfortunately we've got a young running defender, Latham Vandermeer, who's got some serious pace and he's injured at the minute, and also Riley West, who's been playing some good footy in the VFL. So it'll be interesting to see where the coaches go and if one of the young kids get their first game, but I'm sure during the year they'll definitely get their chance.
We're chatting with Jack Ziebell, the captain of the North Melbourne Kangaroos, and probably has the greatest one-day stubble of all the captains here today, mate. There's clearly been a lot of work put into the facial growth today.
Yeah, my tip to anyone trying to grow a bit of facial hair is don't let it grow too far ahead. I've got a pretty red tinge in it, so I just like to keep it every morning just a little once over with a head shaver. And
just keep it under control.
Yeah, exactly right.
No, it's a smart play, mate. No doubt will be the key reason that the Kangaroos made finals in 2019. But in all seriousness, it's probably guys that have come across from other clubs like Polek, Pittard, Hall, add that kind of outside class and polish that at times the club have said they kind of lack. It must be great to have some great talent come into the side now.
No, it's awesome, it is. And then those guys have had awesome pre-seasons. Their impact hasn't gone unnoticed for our group. They've all played quite a bit of footy at opposition clubs, and they all bring something different to our team. So it's going to be awesome to get them into our side early on. And but with that, I don't think they're going to be the sole reason we improve. I mean, our younger guys that improved last year were a big reason we had a bit better year last year than the year before, and I think those guys again have taken their games to new levels this pre-season. So our mid sort of age and younger guys who are all improving are going to make us a better team, along with those guys who got from other clubs.
Yeah, you're right. They're the big names that people are talking about. Who's some of the other maybe kids that have just been drafted in, or guys that have been in the system for a little while that you're really keen as a skipper to go, no, these boys are going to take us to the next gear?
Yeah, I think two young guys we've drafted last year in Taron Thomas and Bailey Scott. Both have had really, really good pre-seasons, and I expect them to feature throughout 2019, and they're going to be quality players for North Melbourne for a long period of time. And Other guys who probably don't get the recognition they deserve. Jai Simpkins in his third year now. He's going to be a very, very good player. He's had a great pre-season. He showed some outstanding signs in the first couple of games, and Trent Dumont as well on the wing. Really took his game to a new level last year, and from what we've seen this pre-season, it's just gone up another level again. So it's awesome to see. And another guy, Johannisen as well, who took his game to a new level last year, will be looking for that improvement again from him because he's had another great pre-season.
Chatting with one of the new skippers of the Sydney Football Club, Luke Parker. Mate, you got a couple of talented kids that have just walked through the door. Someone like a Nicky Blakey has done some great stuff, but we're also going to see guys like Haynes and Mills that have been around the club for a while. Looks like Horse is going to let them kind of run loose in the midfield alongside yourself this year.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting year. I think it's those boys, as you mentioned, Millsy, Haynes, Tommy Papley and Jonesy, kind of that 23, 24-year-olds who are now ready to take that next step and play a lot more midfield time and play a really big role for us.
And we've seen you kind of split your role a little bit between the midfield and the forward line. We're going to see something similar for your good self this year?
Yeah, it'll always be similar, I think, starting mid and hopefully going forward and getting dangerous down there. I think that's the way most mids are going to have to start playing it, or half-backs. You kind of have to have multiple positions with the interchange cap.
And you're not going to move yourself into the back pocket or anything like that anytime soon?
No lockdown defending, nah.
Leave that to someone like Cripps,
exactly.
or something like that.
Exactly.
Hide out.
Someone else to blame.
Yeah, exactly right. Who do you feel like, there's been plenty of talk about the likes of Heaney and Mills that are, throughout the pre-season, but who's a guy that's in the club right now that's not getting kind of the media talk that probably he deserves, given how good his pre-season's been? Who's a player that kind of fits into that category for you?
I think another one's Ollie Sloane. I think it's his third year now. Pretty sure. Third year now, and he's really matured up. He's played a lot of football for a young guy. Probably played a little bit forward and on a wing at times. And all pre-season has been training midfield minutes. Has a lot of class about him just for a young guy and really composed under pressure. So he's one that hopefully can take his game to another level and play a big role for us.
Chatting to Dayne Zorko, the tallest man on the MCG this afternoon.
Thank you.
That's how you're affectionately referred to around the club, I believe.
That is correct. And especially on a day like today when I'm standing next to Wittsy and Gawn. Certainly my height is,
we're going to see
strong
you in that
presence.
Role. We're going to see you in that role this year. You're like, move out of the way, Steph. Get out of the way, Arch. We're going to see you, mate.
Oh, yes. I will be throwing my hand up at occasions.
Yeah, well, you're the captain now, mate, so you can kind of that must be pretty crazy for you, isn't it? You think, 5, 6, 7 years ago, you weren't even playing AFL footy. Now you're leading a club that's got such a rich history. It must be just kind of unbelievable to think about it when you kind of think about it.
It is surreal. I certainly didn't think I would be in this position if you asked me at the start of my career, or, as you said, 8 years ago when I started, whether I'd be a captain of an AFL club. With the people in front of me, I probably thought that was, impossible, but, balls bounce certain ways, and I've worked a lot on my leadership over the last 2-3 years, and I feel very fortunate that I'm able to lead, as you said, a club with such a great history into hopefully another successful period.
And you've got some fantastic leaders alongside you. One of them is a guy that's come over from Fremantle in Lachie Neale. As much as it's obviously disappointing to see someone like Dayne leave the club, having someone like Locke walk straight through the doors kind of helped. It burdens the load a bit less.
It has. As well as Lockie, we've added Link McCarthy, who's had been at a team like Geelong that's had success. We've had Marcus Adams, who was at Bulldogs when they won the premiership, and who else did we had? Jarrod Lyons, who at Adelaide was a very, very important player for them. Played finals over there, so we've added a lot of guys with a lot of experience that have played in big games and finals atmospheres, and all bring different aspects of leadership, which our group can't get enough of at the moment. So all those guys have been invaluable for us, and add in Hodgie on top of that, and it's been a really nice mix.
And you got some absolute ripper young kids. It's kind of scary, I know, when you start talking about young kids and you're like, mate, come on, I'm not even in my early 30s, get off the grass. But you start guys like Beast Mode, the Berry Boys, and it starts to get exciting watching these young kids getting midfield opportunities now.
Absolutely. Cam Rayner's another one. What other Alex Witherden has been able to do on the back line has been sensational. Hugh McLuggage. It's a really exciting time at the club, and touching back on the captaincy, it's great to be able to lead these guys and show them the direction, and then for them to go on with it in future years. It's an exciting period for the club, and there's another guy in there, Zach Bailey, that people probably don't know a lot about, but what he's been able to do over his first 2 seasons in the AFL, he's played a number of games and brings a real X factor to our team, which I thoroughly enjoy.
And now, you've got plenty of young kids in your side, and generally when they walk into the club, within the first week or two, they land themselves a nickname. Who's a bloke that's landed the worst nickname of the new draftees, the new kids, even Link that's come in this year? Who's got the worst nickname in the past 12 months?
Well, it's not the nickname as such, but Tom Joyce, I mean, his initials are TJ, but cannot stand people calling him TJ. I mean, Joycey, mate, your name's Tom Joyce, it's TJ, it's got to be it. He hates it, so we call him TJ, actually. So if he never said anything, we wouldn't have...
away,
exactly right, but now because he doesn't like it so much, it's only natural that boys are going to call him TJ. So it's not the worst, but we certainly get a reaction out of him.
Yeah, that's exactly
that's what we're after.
That's all you want.
That's what we're after.
And we're seeing plenty of competition for spots now. I know your coach has even talked about, that maybe even Archie could knock off Steph in a ruck role. Are we likely to see that play out early in the year, or kind of see how he goes?
Yeah, I think it'll be touch and go for those. I'm not sure how Archer's injuries come up from the weekend. Obviously hurting his esophagus pipe there with some sort of forearm in the throat. Hasn't been good, so that might make selections a little bit easier if Arch doesn't come up, but that's certainly an intriguing role and a very difficult decision for Chris Fagan, because we've got really good ruck stocks at Brisbane at the moment, and they all offer different things which certainly help the team. So look, I'm going to stick out of that one because I honestly I couldn't tell you. They are all so valuable to us in all different aspects. Good luck. Good luck to all three of them.
You're taking the right role anyway, mate.
Well, no, that's it. Yeah. Their job's safe because I won't be going for it.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. Fair enough. Chatting with Rory Sloane, the newly crowned, I don't know if crowned is the word we should go with, but can we go with crowned co-captain?
No, I don't know. I don't like crowned.
What would you prefer? Dubbed?
Just dubbed.
Allocated?
Just half a captain.
Yeah, half a captain's better than most.
Go with that, yeah.
So that's okay, man. It must be fantastic finally for you to have the full support of the team around the side in terms of so many injuries last year. Now walking into a brand new year with pretty much no one sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, it's very, very good feeling. And it obviously comes with a cost. I mean, some guys are going to have to miss out round one, but it's a long season, so I definitely think the healthier the list is, the better the competition is for spots, better guys perform, and then the better guys will perform, and I'm sure everyone will get the crack.
Yeah, and you got guys like Brad, who has been, unfortunate with injury. Looks like he's fit and firing, ready to go. It must be great to see him up and about around the club.
Oh, it is, and we just want to see him enjoy his footy, because I know how much it's hurt him the last couple of years being in and out of the side and watch everyone else play footy, but he's so important for us, and yeah, we just let him go, enjoy his footy and have a crack and just get stuck into it.
And you got a couple of young ripping kids there, McHenry, who's got an absolute disgusting haircut but is a fantastic human being, and then a kid over from Tassie in Chase Jones. He looks like he's getting pretty close to that round one squad.
Yeah, so he's performed, mate, and that's all you can ask. When you get your chance, you just perform and make it very hard for the coaches to not pick you. So he's done everything he can to basically put his hand up for round one, and we do. All the young guys that came in have been performing unbelievably. I mean, Lockie Scholl's another one I'm sure you'll see plenty of in the future. Tyson Stengel we got over from Richmond, just teared this pre-season up, and yeah, there's just unfortunately you can't fit everyone in a healthy side, and we've got a pretty experienced side at the moment.
Yeah, it's looking good. The side's looking like they're going to be right up towards where they want to be, which is the finals. We wish you all the best. Good luck, man.
Thank you. Cheers, buddy. Good luck.
It must be kind of surreal to think a couple of years ago you joined the Gold Coast Suns, and now you find yourself as the skipper. What is that feeling like when you had that conversation with the coach?
Yeah, it was a really big honour when he invited us over to his house and to make the announcement. Initially, like you said, if I was in this situation 3 years, you wouldn't think I'd be here, but it's sort of just built. Was able to get layers on top of layers. First of all, get some continuity in my game, and then sort of build the leadership off the back of that. So, I'm really privileged to be here and take it as a huge honour. And
you've got a great responsibility to lead a whole group of new kids that just come into the side, and obviously, unfortunately for Isaac, he's hurt himself and he's going to miss the start of the year, but just some incredibly talented and good characters of kids have just walked through the door as well. Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things. Even the older, mature guys who we recruited are really good blokes and going to be great for our club and be able to show the way from a professional point of view, and just how to go about AFL in general to those younger talented guys. So the club's in a really good place in that sense. It's now just building it layer on layer and hitting all our KPIs and be as consistent as possible throughout games. So that's really our focus going forward. And will we see some guys like Lukosius, Burgess, Collins for the club anyway? Will we see them likely to debut in round one? Oh, I don't know. It's a bit tricky when you talk about selection. Oh, come on, mate. Don't worry about it. I won't tell anyone. I don't know. They've had really solid pre-seasons, but
Like I said, I'm not in match committee, so I won't comment.
So just say yes. Just say yes, and then we can splice it over the top, mate. No one will ever do that, mate. Appreciate your time. Have a great season, buddy. Good on you, mate. Chatting with Patrick Cripps of the Carlton Football Club, mate. It must be great to see some young kids coming through to the side that you've had for a number of years now, but kids like a Sammy Walsh looks like he's an absolute ripper of a kid, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good blokes at the club now. We've got a lot of country boys, so there's a really good field around the joint. But said a few things before. Once you get to second, third, fourth year, they really get to, I suppose, their body treated to perform at AFL level, and they get that confidence that they believe they're good enough. So, the JRT was promising, gave the boys a bit of confidence, but still a lot to work on. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of young talent there.
And starting to get some extra support down the front for guys like Charlie Curnow, Harry Mackay, getting guys like McGovern and Fasolo into the side must be just mouth-watering for you, seeing some guys down the front that you can shove the ball down their throats and get them banging some goals.
Yeah, we've definitely got some X-factor down there, that's for sure, and they'll keep developing and be in sync, and I suppose they'll get better as the year goes on, just working together. But also guys like Michael Gibbons come in, he's played a really good pressure role, and he's been a really good addition to the side. So yeah, I reckon the list is starting to get some real depth to it, and all the good sides have depth. So yeah, I think we're on the right track.
And you reckon we'll see Gibbo play round one?
You'll find out Wednesday night, I reckon, mate. But no, he's had pretty good JLT form, so I'd be surprised if he was in it. But your guess is as good as mine at the moment.
Chatting with the man that has been dubbed. We've talked across today about who's got grand final chances, Brownlow medals. There is a clear unanimous thing amongst all captains. You've got the best beard in the AFL at the moment. You take that as a fair call?
Yeah, I haven't looked around to see what other captains have a beard.
Well, Jack Ziebell's got 1 day growth.
Yeah.
So I think
that wasn't voted in?
No, by him it was.
Yeah, right.
But I feel like you've got him kind of pretty covered on.
Well, my beard's at a bad length at the moment. I've shortened it a tiny bit, so it's still good that I'm still getting that vote. I thought I may have gone somewhere else, but obviously no one with a beard gets voted captain, and I mean, I'm truth to that because I'm not captain, but look, that's very nice of them.
Mate, it must be nice to finally, for you and the rest of the boys, kind of get around to the serious stuff and finally crack on with the season.
It is. It's a great time of the year. I also love pre-season, to be honest, as well. I'm not a pre-season hater. I reckon it's great to be out there running in the sun and no media.
You want me to send this to Goody, don't you?
This is Goody's message, isn't it? But nothing beats footy as well. So we're about to embrace the hurt. We're about to embrace being sore every week, but you wouldn't change it for a thing. This is what we want to do. Hopefully 26 weeks, hopefully be here at the G last day of the year.
Absolutely. We're going to see you spending a little bit of time with Braden at times during the year, or are we going to see you just playing the sole ruck role a lot this year?
Well, if it was up to me, I'd probably play 18 rucks.
I feel like you'd be good at a back pocket role too.
Yeah. Maybe if you need a couple of mids, maybe just play 15 rucks. I can understand that view. I don't think Goody's losing sleep over it. So I don't think it's a massive issue in his head. I think it's been built up externally. But if we do play 2 rucks, which I'd like, it would be a great chance to be able to do it in round 1 against Ryder and Lysette. If we don't, I'm more than happy of Wiedemann and Declan Kilty and Tom McDonald to be able to ruck as well and play my normal role. So no one's really losing sleep over the decision, and Prusy will play at some point this year. I mean, we did trade him in and we want him to be a Melbourne player, and if that's round 1 all the way to round 22, well, that's a massive win for us, and it means he's playing his role. So I'm a pretty impatient man and I want what's best for the team, and we'll find that out in due course.
Does that mean someone like a Marty Hoare is going to find his way into the side in round 1? Or
I mean, I don't know how you draw from that, but you just wanted to mention Marty Hoare.
I just wanted to say the name and see if I can get you to say it. Yeah.
It's a really good name, but if playing 2 rucks means Marty Hoare's going to play,
he's got to play. It's a natural progression of things, so that's all good. I appreciate your time. Chatting to Nathan Fyfe, because that's how we're going to go for the full name. How about for you? You've got probably the most talked about elbow in the world at the moment, mate. It's looking... I feel sexy back is probably the right term for that, man, but that's all right, mate. It must be nice for you, like after months of just mucking around, kicking the ball around and not really playing anything serious. It must be nice now to finally...
Yeah.
The big stuff's here, hey?
Yeah, I mean, we're all tuned for competitiveness and train so hard that when the real stuff rolls around, you lick your lips. So, yeah, I'm excited.
And some of the rule changes I know we've talked about in the media before, does it feel like for you that it's going to benefit your type of game with some of the rule changes coming in?
I think it will. I didn't play any JLT, but I watched, and there's a lot of space around centre square bounces now. There's one-on-ones in the forward line at centre square bounces, and I think that's having a flow-on effect to the general play. So more space, more competitive one-on-one contests suits me to the ground.
Yeah, and you're going to get some great support from some young kids like Ches coming through, like Andy coming through as well. It must be nice to have... You've still got Old Man Monday rolling through there, but you've got a couple of young kids that look like they're going to take some responsibility.
Yeah, Cher and Brayshaw get talked about a lot, but Sean Darcy as a young ruckman, Brendan Cox as a young forward, Taylor Duman, Sam Switkowski as a young pressure forward. We've got some youthful guys that we're looking to get 100, 150, 200 odd games out of over the next 5 to 8 years. But that's going to mean we'll have some volatility, some ups and downs as they learn the craft of AFL and getting prepared to play each week. But we're going to see some great footy played out of these guys, and I'm pretty happy to be a part of it and help steer the ship. Yeah,
you've got a guy by the name of Connor Blakely who's obviously on the sidelines with injury at the moment. Are we going to see him come into the middle a bit more this year?
Yeah.
Or
Connor should be back around 3 to 5. So you'll blink and he'll be back and play predominantly midfield, a bit of halfback, a ball hunter, and with Reece Conker coming into our midfield as well. We do have some guys that know how to find the footy. So a little bit of depth starting to build in our midfield list.
So there you go. A massive thank you to the team at AFL for giving us access to some of the biggest names in football as we had a chance to chat to them. We certainly appreciate the time, the energy, effort they gave not only to us, but to dozens of other media people that were there on the day. Plenty of great insight. Hopefully you learnt on the way and got to just know some of your favourite players a little bit throughout the period. Over the coming days, you're going to get a last chance strategy and Q&A podcast that'll land just days before the start of the 2019 fantasy football season. And if you sign up to our Patreon, you can get our full 50-page plus cash cow guide and an accompanying podcast to go with it. If you want to join the Patreon, support the Coaches Panel and get some exclusive content, patreon.com/Coaches Panel is where you can go to be able to get that. That is landing Monday. Make sure you go and grab that if you haven't already done so. We thank you so much for all your support, all your sharing and your reviews that you've been sharing over podcasts, the fact you're telling people about the Coaches Panel. We just thank you so much for the journey you've been on with us so far in 2019. We hope you've enjoyed the content coming thus far. There is still more to come before round 1 gets underway, and then really all the serious stuff kicks off, because that is when we sort the men from the boys, so to speak, when it comes to how your fantasy side is going to go in 2019. More podcasts to come over the coming days before round 1. More articles to land, and you'll even get an access and some viewing into some of the Coaches Panel starting squads. So keep checking out coachespanel.tv. That is where you're going to find all that. Good luck over this weekend. We hope you get some time, whether you be drafting, whether you be making the final tunes to your side. We hope it all goes well for you. And from me here at the Coaches Panel, we wish you all the best, and we'll chat to you soon.